Hi, welcome back to my channel. I have something for the first time in a little bit, I guess. I'm still uploading some old videos I filmed in the last month or so. Just I've had kids home sick because that's what kids do apparently, is just get sick every other week with some flu or something they catch at school. And yeah, I just haven't put anything up in a bit, but I do want to get this out because Horus Heresy is up for pre-order tomorrow. And for the first time in a long time, I am excited. 40K has not excited me in at least a year and a half. Age of Sigmar, there was about a 6-month period where I was interested. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's really fun, but I prefer older fantasy. And when people I play with were like, hey, let's go back to movement trays and 8th edition, I said, perfect. And I haven't looked at Age of Sigmar since. Like, it's there, it's on a shelf. I never went to round bases anyways. So yeah, what I did now is got myself all pumped up for Horus Heresy. I didn't really pay attention to it when I was first hearing about it for the past few months. I just went, oh, okay, cool, new Horus Heresy stuff. And even like the first week or two when they started putting out the teasers and everything, I took a look and said, oh, okay, well, Horus Heresy is coming soon. And I just ignored it. And then I saw what was going to be in the box, and I said, oh, wow, that's a really good sized army if you just used it for one person. It is an asymmetrical force if you do it for 2 players, and I don't really like asymmetrical army box sets, but that is what happens. Obviously, there's going to be 2 forces in any box that are never going to match up, but because these are Marines and they do match almost in every way anyways, it does make it a little bit weirder to see just 30 Marines, a Contemptor, and a Hero versus 10 Terminators, a big giant tank, and 10 Marines. But because I see it as good value for one player, and when I saw the price and decided that that's not too bad, I figured, you know what? I'm going to get this starter set. I'm going to see what this is about. I'm going to look at Horus Heresy from a fairly serious angle and just actually see if this is something I want to play. And then I'm going to see if I can find people to play with. I've heard a little bit of talk locally that people are interested, but I don't know how far that's going to go because, you know, talk is talk until I see people buy stuff and paint an army. I'm not going to, you know, get too invested or committed or get my hopes up essentially that I'm going to get games in with this, but I will put it together. I'll paint it. I already know I'm going to be painting Night Lords because I already have Night Lords, and the Night Lords I have are all from Betrayal at Calth basically, and Forge World, so they are Horus Heresy Night Lords that I collected. I used to have regular Night Lords, trying to match the army list from Codex City Fight in 3rd edition. And I just eventually let those go. I just wasn't using them that much. And I just kept sort of a few core things. And then Betrayal of Calth came out, and I got rid of most of the rest of the core stuff other than some vehicles. And with this, and what I already have, I'm going to have a pretty sweet amount of options to use with the Horus Heresy. And I'll be able to sell the rest off, anything I don't want, either to somebody locally who's also building up a force and needs to bulk it out, or, you know, just on the internet, put it towards something else, maybe another, you know, Rhino or 2. One thing I'm going to be lacking because I've sold all my vehicles other than a Land Raider. But yeah, this is a great starter set for one player. And, you know, it also has templates and scatter die, and they don't show them, but those little red whippy sticks for measurement. And that's right there. Those things. I mean, when I started in 2000, I think it was 99, 2000. I never can remember exactly when I started. I mean, you know, we all had a few welts because somebody had to hit somebody with it. And yeah, I'm excited to see that because going back to the older style 40K rules is, you know, not something I was like looking for exactly like I am with fantasy in the old world, but I do have a lot of nostalgia for it. I did miss a lot of these rules, and I did have a lot of fun going back to 3rd edition more than I've had in 9th edition. And I think the biggest thing about these is that this stuff here, the idea of templates, the idea of armor facings, armor values on tanks again. The only reason I kind of just didn't care we lost all this stuff originally was that 6th and then 7th edition especially were so bad that a fresh start was amazing to me. Like, it was a chance to like get excited for 40k again, and for a while I was. But yeah, this here is going back to where we already were and hopefully fixing a lot of those problems. My understanding is Horus Heresy was always kind of a 7th edition rule set, but one that was cleaned up and not so bloated. And if they can continue that and make this so that it's fun and not just a pile of books, and that's the part where I think this is going to fall down. I can't believe that GW is going to release a system and then not bury us in books, but I'm hoping that I can get away without having to buy a book every 3 months. And just the models are great. I have some of these, as I said. I have Betrayal of Calth, and getting some more of them is nice. I'm going to get all those nice Marines, those Praetors. You know, it's a great box set, and I'm excited to get my hands on it. And one thing I'm excited for, I'm just going to mention those reactions. If you haven't followed Horus Heresy stuff, the reactions is this new part of the game where basically every turn or every phase, I don't know exactly how it works, but you get so many reactions you can do in a game, and they can be done at certain times. And for example, there's a warlord trait for the Night Lords that you can use in this, which gives you an extra reaction in the assault phase, which makes me believe it is per phase. You get one or something, plus any extras you can pick up. What they do is that whatever phase you're in and you have a certain number of reactions, then you have a list of reactions. And they're things like, if the enemy shoots me, I shoot back. If the enemy moves, I can move, and so on, things like that. I think that is really great. One of the things that really hurts Warhammer 40k for a lot of new players or people who look at it from the outside and go, it's not for me. I've heard many times people say the same thing. I don't like that there's no alternating reaction or alternating activations. Like, I think it's Bolt Action does that, and other games where basically I'm moving a unit, you're moving a unit, and so on. Or I'm doing my movement, then you do your movement, versus I move, I shoot, I do close combat, and then it's your turn to do your stuff while I sit and do nothing. Having some sort of interaction for the opponent while you're doing your turn, I think is going to make the game feel faster. And it's also going to help people who suffer from like getting bored essentially and like daydreaming during the opponent's turn. And even though I don't usually do that, I do it sometimes. I get into like a rut where something is happening on their turn that is kind of dull. Like maybe I'm playing against orcs or Tyranids and there's a lot of movement and my mind starts drifting because, you know, I'm watching them move, but I don't have anything to do while they move like 120 models. And so having something that I could do of, hey, he moved that, I don't like that. That means I'm going to get charged this turn, which could lead to a charge on the following turn. So I'm going to move these guys back. I'm going to use my reaction. That to me is going to add strategy, and not just the fun, but that strategy is that I only get one, let's say, per phase, which means I don't want to waste it. It's not like, oh, well, he moved a dude, I better use it. I might go, okay, if he moves this unit towards this other unit of mine, he might be able to assault. But if he moves this unit over here towards my other unit up in this corner and he charges, I'm probably going to lose that unit and then have like that entire flank collapse, which is when I might say I'm going to move these guys backwards 6 inches. That's cool. That's a really neat little extra thing we can do, and I like that. And I'm curious if I can take the rules for this and apply them to 3rd edition. Take 3rd edition codexes and run them with this new Horus Heresy rule set. If it's all basically the same other than some tweaks and a few additions, I don't think it would be too hard to make the codexes work with it. So that's one thing I'm going to be trying to do, and I'll let you guys know if I can make it work. And if it doesn't work, then I'll just say, hey, this doesn't work. So if you were thinking of adopting this rule set as kind of a generic one for anything, don't do it. It's not gonna happen. It's just there's too much weird stuff or whatever the problem is. So as I said, I'm gonna go Night Lords. I've already got a bunch of stuff. None of it's painted as far as I can remember, other than I have a painted Storm Eagle and a painted Land Raider. That's it. I have another Storm Eagle I need to build. I've got now some stuff I'm going to get in the mail, obviously, the starter set. Plus, I'm going to grab the Kratos tank and a Deimos Rhino. And that's going to give me, I think, a really good start with everything I already have to really experiment with what you can do with a Horus Heresy army. And I plan to do some streams where I build stuff, streams where I paint stuff, as a way to motivate me to get these things done. I'm going to also do some painting streams with my vampire counts, I think, in the next week or so, because I need to get back at painting my vampire counts, especially if I'm bringing in a whole new big army project. I need to get them done and out of the way, and there's not too much left to do. I just need to basically motivate myself, and if I can share that with people who might be interested in chatting while I'm painting, that would be really cool and fun. So Night Lords, just really quick over here. Scroll this up. First off, I do have Conrad Kurz. He is in rough shape. I got him in a trade or something. I forget exactly. I think I bought an army that he was in, but it wasn't like super well taken care of. I think a couple of these blades are broken, so I'm gonna have to find some parts to 3D print online so I can fix them up. But mostly he's in good shape. It's just these little details I need to fix somehow. But that shouldn't be too hard. And yeah, this is that Warlord trait I mentioned, where you can get an extra assault phase reaction. And then you also would get Fear 1, whatever this does. I don't know Horus Heresy, so I can't tell you what that does. I assume that just means -1 leadership, maybe within 6 or 12 inches of the Warlord. But if he can wipe out units or characters in combat, then he gets up to +2, making it a Fear 3, which if this can become Fear -3 leadership in a bubble, that would be really cool. And then here's the other cool thing about Night Lords, the Chain Glaive. If you don't know what this is, it's a chainsword on like a pole. Like it's a chain spear. And it is awesome to look at. It's got really cool rules, +2 strength and 3 AP. Oh, and if you don't know, as I said, these are older rules. In 40k prior to 8th edition, the AP here, this just simply meant this was the armor that it would go through. As in, this is a 3+ armor killer. Space Marines hit with one of these would not get an armor save. Now, this might have been tweaked in this Horus Heresy thing, but where I understand that it's based on the older editions, I'm going to assume it's basically the same, meaning if I hit a Space Marine with this, using a Sergeant with a Chain Glaive, I'm going to get +2 strength, making it easier to wound, and then that Space Marine is not going to get their 3+ save, unless they have their own special rule to counter this or something. They would be on to invulnerable saves. So yeah, I'm going to stop there. Basically, I'm going to be picking up, as I said, a very big chunk of this. I sold a whole bunch of stuff this week so that I could have a few $100s in my PayPal account ready for tomorrow. And I think I'm going to spend maybe a little bit out of pocket to get what I want, but that's fine. I'm going to get a nice big pile of sprues to overwhelm myself with and to have some fun with. So thanks for watching, and if you have any comments, as always, you are free to leave them below. And if you did make it this far, thank you. I know I'm kind of a rambler. I try not to be. Like, this is like the 3rd or 4th time I've filmed this or recorded this, I should say, trying to cut back on times. So if you did get through this, I appreciate that. I just I like talking about Warhammer, and if you guys have, comments or replies to what I said, I'll read them and I'll reply back. So thanks very much, and have yourselves a great day.